here in the top position of Death Aura to start things off, he is Zest. And his opponent down here in the bottom, looking strong in that last series, he's ByuN. Yeah, I do think he is married. I'm not 100% certain on that. But yeah, he does call her his wife, which is really cute. So if anything, I'm happy for the happy couple. I'm also happy for this couple of players because it's really fun to watch them go ham on each other. No, Solar and his wife. Sorry, Bing Bong Bip. I am taken myself, so. So, Zest. He already is going to go crazy in this series a little bit here. Going to be hiding a pylon all the way on the other side. Now, the question is that going to be for Stargate or DTs? I'm kind of leaning towards DTs based off the positioning here. But we will have to see, as once that cybernetics core completes is when we see our decision being made for us. On the other side, ByuN, he's kind of playing it a little bit safer. He doesn't get the Reaper in this matchup a ton, just because it can get picked off very easily. And you don't really get a ton of scouting information when it matters. So that's his real reasoning for kind of just powering up and getting the Marines done and dusted, especially since he is going to be going for one of his patented 2-1-1s versus Protoss. I'd have to check the video just to see what his timings were, but a lot of the time with this, what he'll do is he'll delay his gas by, say, 2 workers just to get his Marines out a little bit quicker, and then from there, he just powers up completely. The Stalker, unfortunately, is going to be the first victim of that. A little bit of poking done on it, as the Stargate has completed. And we should be seeing that pop in here. But unfortunately, this is a little bit of a hard counter to Stargate play.
SCV ready. Who wants some?
These games were played last week, I believe. They are being casted from replay. They were just so awesome that we had to see them again. And they were on the Trovo channel, so that's why we are replaying them here on Twitch for our lovely viewers. Now, already getting a little bit of a delay there on the CC. That's about as much damage as this Oracle is going to do. Get some good scouting information. Sees that Stim is about halfway complete and that there are a ton of Marines just waiting to get on top of his worker production here. So behind that, Zest is going to be going for that double gateway in the front. He really wants to play it safe and really just wants to make sure that he can have enough unit production to deal with this. And he's keeping the Oracle alive for right now. This is a risky play for Zest. No, he can't see the progress, but based off what he's seen with the build, he can kind of assume what the timing is on it. That's the thing about these players. Like, they really have this mental calculator in their head based off what time they see something. So while he doesn't know the exact timing, he could probably guess, based off what he knows about ByuN, that it was about halfway done when he moved the Oracle in. Now, ByuN's stim is complete now. He's got +1 attack, about to finish up with this as well. His third base is down, so he's not fully all in, fully committed to this. I would like to see maybe a medevac come in as well, but that's going to just slow down his push a bit. So he's just going to go without it. Once again, the Oracle just being so aggressive. And ByuN kind of just playing around here in the middle of the map. The game is not, it's from replay, but the casting is live. Like I can see chat and I can respond to chat. Now ByuN, he's kind of just inching his way forward, so Zest is getting a lot of time to kind of build up his forces to defend against this. Oracle's still kind of flying around as well, keeping that alive. Zest is doing a really good job in that regard. And now ByuN's trying to push into these locations where there's just way too much force field energy. Zest almost making a mistake there. And then following it up with the mistake, a little bit of an F2 there, I feel. But ByuN, he likes to push this position versus Protoss because it is a little bit harder to defend. But now he's kind of just rotating around, seeing if Zest is paying attention. And here we go. The shield battery has been popped. Zest trying to help out ByuN just a little bit there and attack his own Nexus. But, you know, ByuN, I got to award him for his patience. He's doing a really good job of just making sure that he doesn't lose too many units and that he can keep the push going, even just helping his reinforcements grow and grow. Force field energy going to take out quite a chunk of them, force them away for the Zealots, but he is going to save so many of these, just so much firepower with this Terran army that Zest is having a little trouble here, but the Blinks good enough to push it back. What am I going to get one last shot off? ByuN still has an army supply lead, and he still has the worker advantage as well. So he's still in a really good position with this, and now he's just able to keep the push kind of going, pick off enough of the Protoss units to make it worth it, and then, you know, finish him off with the killing blow, the killing touch. I think that's kind of his game plan here, but Zest not going to let him, as he's got the Stalkers actually out to pick off the reinforcements for this. But ByuN actually able to get up the ramp. The Widowmines getting taken down before they can burrow. And the Zealot's doing a good job of preventing from too much going on. And it looks like he was going to go straight for the main base, but now he is just going to back up, get his fourth base down and running, and move on from there. He's getting rid of the Warpins, which is nice, and it looks like he's going to go straight for +2 armor, and he will get it. So his upgrade advantage is going to be immense now. On the other side as well, he's going to be pushing the fourth base. There is a Colossus and a couple of Stalkers to defend, as well as the shield battery. This is the position where ByuN might actually be hitting his keyboard and putting the question mark in, because that's one of his signature emotes. But he is pushed off that location. The Widowmines, however, have not been discovered. Nice. Now ByuN just going to keep these fights going, looking for the pickoffs. He doesn't want to lose too much in these engagements, but he does get some amazing pickoffs here. Colossus going down. It is pure gateway units at this point. Zest down half the army supply, and now ByuN is in multiple locations at once. This is the position where he feels comfortable in. He's going to try and get these medevacs back to the main army. And that fourth base going down, that's going to be it. GG is called. ByuN taking game number 1. Really convincing fashion. It just shows how aggressive he can be and how good he can be with that aggression. Glad you all are having a good time. ByuN is always a fun player to watch, and his opponent is no slouch either. And now, speaking of legends spawning up here in the top position, he is Zest. His opponent down here in the bottom, he's ByuN. Okay, so obviously Zest feeling a little bit crazy here. He wants to make sure that nothing is going on outside of his base. As ByuN, you know, he's the kind of guy who invented proxying Reapers. He didn't invent it, but you know what? He perfected it back in 2016 during his amazing run. And just a reminder, if you take a look at the bracket, it does have the results of this series. So if you want it to be a pleasant surprise, just stick around. Once again, he's going for the reactor, so he's going to get plenty of Marines out nice and early. The question is he going to try and hit earlier this time? Is he going to throw down that second Rax and just macro? Or is he just kind of playing it a little bit more safe, expecting Zest to do something crazy? Speaking of crazy, it does look like Zest is going to go a little crazy. Once again, going to throw down that Stargate, maybe a Twilight Council. Yeah, it is a Stargate. So yeah, once again, we're seeing ByuN go for a little bit of a delayed second Rax. We should be seeing the Tech Lab drop immediately. Just like that probe dropped immediately. And this is just super safe against what Zest is going for. The proxy Stargate, it's meant to hit very fast. It's meant to hit you before you have enough units to defend. But there's already going to be 6 Marines out to help things. Yeah, 6 is the magic number. And here we go. Zest is going to couple this with a very fast double stalker push with it. And now ByuN has to answer for it. It looks like he's just going to instantly, as I say that, he does not. I thought he was going to switch over to Marauders. But he does have enough to kind of just push this back for right now. The Oracle running low on energy, so it's not going to be able to kill too many more. I think especially since he's not been going for the second Oracle or third Oracle either. He hasn't been committing heavily to it, so he's not been able to kind of get that overwhelming number here. But Zest is still pushing, being very aggressive right now. And the question is it a little bit much? Already he's getting some really nice pickoffs on the Marines. And he is going to be pushed back at the very last second. Looks like Zest doesn't really want to go too hard from here. He's got his third Nexus up, but he's also preparing that warp-in location. Gonna go straight for a big blink play. I keep forgetting English, even though it's the only language I speak well. Yeah, a couple more gateways being on the production tab. The blink is finished up. We should be seeing a huge warp-in of Stalkers come down as well. And the question is, since ByuN did not go for a tech lab on a siege tank production, will this be enough to fight this? Stim is complete, so the defense is going to be a little bit better, but you can't really go out too far on the map here with the sentries in play. The ramp is going to be the most deadly location for him, and every stim is going to hurt more and more as those medevacs have not been completed just yet, just now popping. And as Zest just starts to get these pickoffs, especially on the Marauders, the heavy-hitting Terran units, he's forcing ByuN to stay away from that third base. Zest, not fully all in with this. This is really just a pretty light contain. But, you know, ByuN just really can't push out on this as easily as he would like. Although a little bit of an F2 there. Once again, the Oracle going down without a fight. And ByuN is finally going to be able to kind of push his way out here, although Zest still has quite a tremendous army lead. Now the question is, will Zest start to back up here? Like, I think he doesn't want to overstay his welcome, especially now that that Marauder count is nice and healthy. You do have charge complete, so that's going to help out a lot. You do have some force fields, so you can kind of trap some units in. But it's just really risky to go in there with pure gateway and expect to win the game. But you know what? Zest is going to try and at least even the odds here as he's going to blink right on top of this. The Zealot count starting to dwindle. The force field, so going to keep a lot of this Terran army from interacting. SCV is being pulled as well, so that was very worth it for Zest. If he just backs up now, he's going to be very happy. And you know what? He's not going to just back up right now. He's going to go straight for that third CC. Don't commit too much. Don't want to lose too many stalkers, but he does pick it up. So with 17 kills, I think he can safely say he is putting himself in a winning position. ByuN, he kind of recognizes the situation that he's in as well, so he's going to go straight for an attack. And now, once again, this army is pretty scary, but there's a lot at home. You have the shield batteries in position. They still have overcharge. And already, ByuN just not able to take the fight that he wants here. That's a Warp Prism just hanging out. Look at that. Double Colossus on the way as well. Once those start popping, I think this attack is just going to get taken down. But ByuN still making a good game of it. They're still keeping the push going, which I really enjoy, but Zest has an overwhelming army right here. The Zealot's just going to drop right on top of it, and now this is going to prompt ByuN to try and push a little bit into the main base, actually going to go down onto the low ground so that he can retreat if needed, but getting the cybernetic score, that is nice. No more stalkers in this army. Now, ByuN, he's recovered a little bit here. He's staying on 45 workers, however, so he's a little bit all in on that regard, focusing primarily on using these mules for the to keep himself even. But Zest, once again, this has just been a seesaw of a game. Small mistakes here and there like that, really making it harder to say who's ahead. But the Stalkers getting some decent pickoffs here. The Widowmines just trying to burrow where they can hide and get those good connections, but unfortunately they're getting taken down before they can even shoot. On the other side, we do have a small drop with some Marauders and Marines going in, and that is getting some good work done. But once again, the third base, which is actually the main base floated down, is going to get picked up, and this is pretty much the last huzzah of ByuN. If he cannot hold here, this game is over. All the SCVs being pulled in the last stand as they fall. ByuN actually going to get a nice surround. There is a recall available, so these units are not stuck. But they're having such a good time with their laser pointers that they don't feel that it's necessary, as ByuN should be tapping out here in just a couple of seconds as his entire army is gone. There you have it. GG. Zest ties up the series 1-1 already. This is looking good. I need to take a sip after that one. I hope you guys are having an amazing time. I've been having such a fun time casting these series tonight. It's really just been incredible StarCraft 2 that if you missed it the first time, it's always good for a rewatch. And you know what? to keep that going, let's talk about these guys up here in the top position. He is Zest. And down here in the bottom, he is ByuN. Who, by the way, esports teams who may be watching, he's still single. I don't know if he's single in his relationship life, but he is certainly single in terms of not having a team. I don't know if he is actively looking, though, is the big thing. Because his biggest success has actually come when he didn't have a team. So he might just start thinking that, oh, they're holding me back. A team will not help me win. But who knows, who knows. We've got Zest here sporting his nice team colors, his nice clan tag as well. And yeah, I'm very interested to see what Zest does in this game. He's been attempting his best to kind of set the pace, and ByuN has not really allowed him to in a couple of the games, but Zest has really just shown that it doesn't matter whether he's setting the pace or just reacting to what you're doing. He can pull it back, and he can just really punch your teeth in. Now, ByuN, he doesn't have that second Rax coming down in this one. He doesn't want it. He might feel that a factory is actually going to be a better option here. And you know, he's actually done some really good things with Hellions as well versus Protoss, especially when he's dropped them in the main base. Sorry about that. But yeah, you know, Zest is mixing it up a little bit too. He's going for the Twilight Council first rather than the Stargate. He's going to try and play out a different strategy here. But we've seen Zest, he really enjoys that blink style. It's been pushing him so far forward. And now this is kind of a build order, like not a loss, definitely not a loss this early on, but build order advantage for Zest because he's the one being more aggressive and he has the units to do so. Already, ByuN is thinking that he is ready for the Stargate that will never come. And the Hellion just going to get a little glance at the wall. He doesn't want to overextend with it looks like. Looks like they had a little bit of a pause there for a second. I guess we had some lag. This guy's pretty good, though. If you speak Korean, you should check out his cast. He always makes it pretty entertaining. Now what's going to be entertaining here is ByuN has dropped. Unfortunately for him, Zest is in position, so he will have to back on out of there without any damage done. Blink is complete as well. So a lot of things are just going up Zest right now. Now going out for a little bit of a Raven harass Zest, trying to find it, but not going to be able to, essentially. And here we go, the double pronged of Zest, or ByuN. while Zest is going to go straight for the main base of ByuN and try and pick off what he can. Keep in mind, this isn't really high committal for Zest. Unfortunately, though, instantly losing one of those Stalkers. Not going to lose a second, which is good for him. But now he's kind of waited a bit for this double prong, so now it's not going to get as much done because there's enough Stalkers in position. And there we go. ByuN going to try and get some work done in the main base. Now he can kind of just play around on this Lich. Just force the warp into Stalkers back at home, and unfortunately he might lose this medevac. No dice. Although I would like to see this Raven kind of go in and do something. Feels like the fact that it's just there is taking a lot out of what ByuN can do. ByuN, however, does not feel the same as he's going to be moving on in here. With a very big army, these Stalkers getting picked out before they can really get anything done. But the warp in back at ByuN's base is going to slow him down a little bit. He's going to get all of those Zealots out as well, so that's going to help out a lot. Raven going to be pushed back. And as for that medevac, oh my goodness. Loses the Raven as well, so ByuN, a couple of missteps there, but he still has a very scary army moving across the map right now. And keep in mind, you do have this really nice siege tank location there that you can pull the boys on. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. ByuN has pulled the boys. He needs to put those in front. A couple are going to get picked off here by the force fields, but there's not that much force field energy left. There is still a huge amount of Protoss here. And back at home, we actually do see a little bit of a warp in here. The Widowmine's not able to get on top of the Warp Prism. ByuN, however, is straddling the third and the natural. And does he have enough here? The SCVs, losing those SCVs is a lot. Canceling the Immortal for right now, but smart play using the Warp Prism. ByuN gonna have to be forced back onto his siege tank line, but the Zealots in the back gonna get a full surround on this. A lot of ByuN's supply is starting to fall. Now ByuN, he still only has these two bases as well. He is completely all in with this. So the fact that it didn't work out is really devastating for him. Just look at that. 5 Immortals. No siege tanks. Yeah, it looks like ByuN is going to try and play it out, though. If we take a look at that army supply, he does still have a big army, but his worker supply, his economy is in the gutter. I don't even know if Liberators are going to be the right option here. They can be pretty good, but there is such a large Stalker count of all of this. And even just getting these pickoffs is really nice for these Stalkers, really making them worth it. Here we go. Mine is going to detonate, but it is not enough to kill the Warp Prism. ByuN going to be forced home. Yeah, every second he's a little bit indecisive here. He's losing a lot of workers, and every push is now pretty much his last one. And yeah, there we go. That is the GG stim right there. Gonna try and get on top of this force field. Gonna force a lot of this back. The Stalker's gonna get some pickoffs from behind as well. This is, I think this is where ByuN starts to get ready here, but he is gonna fight it out. Not take a bad fight, but once those Immortals came into play, that was just too much for him to handle. GG. Zest takes another game from our Terran Prodigy. Now, you know what? We do have the next map already ready and set up to go. And I think Zest has got to be happy about that game. He really just forced ByuN into an uncomfortable position where ByuN could not engage, get those engagements that he wanted. He kind of forced ByuN into this all-in position since ByuN was going to go for that all-in, but kind of made it more dire in that situation. But you know what? Enough about last game. We all live in a yellow submarine on this map, and spawning down here in the bottom position, he is Zest. And his opponent up here in the top, he is our blue Terran phenomenon, ByuN. Now, this tells me that ByuN is going to do something wild here. And I can already tell that it's going to be crazy because he still has absolutely no gas mining just yet. So there's a couple possibilities with this. Obviously, the best one is we're going to be seeing a very fast third CC. But you also do have this option, kind of, to just throw down a bunch of racks and kind of just kill your opponent that way if you so desire. But now Zest, he's got to know something's up. You know, you don't see this kind of thing often. You don't see players play like this unless something crazy is going on. Now, he did delay the refineries, but they are now up and running here, so he will be trying to restart his gas production as quickly as possible. And really, that delay did buy him a lot of minerals here. We should be seeing probably that third CC go down. Usually ByuN, he doesn't really bank up minerals like this unless he's going for the CC. Yeah, there you go. So this is basically when aggression meets macro. He's going to have so many minerals and so many mules to drop on his natural base that even if he loses some SEVs, he's going to be able to recover quite quickly. Look out for this one on your next ladder play. Zest, however, is not going to have any of that. He really wants to get a scout around. He wants to make sure that this isn't what he thinks it is. He sees the number of Marines, and that's a little bit of a tell here for him. But he would really like to confirm that there is stim on the way. That was huge. Although ByuN is a little bit out of position now because of that. The Marines not there to take care of the Oracle, and the Oracle is exactly what he needed to get all the scouting information. Oh, this is 3 racks. So now Zest knows that he's probably going to be swell here. All he needs to do is defend the aggression from ByuN. He's seen Stim, he's seen the third racks, and you kind of saw it. He threw down the additional gateways back in home, instantly started Blink and starts chronoing that out so that he can get those pickoffs when ByuN does decide to move across the map. There will be no healing energy with this. It looks like Zest is going to be the one who wants to be aggressive here. He does not want to allow ByuN to move out. He really is just going to try and go for that bit of a soft contain here with this Blink play. And it could really work here. There are no what do you call them? Siege tanks. There are no Widow Mines. There is not even a factory done yet. So this is the perfect time for Blink Stalkers to kind of play around in the base. Now you do have to be careful though, because there is Stim. So if you're too wild with these stalkers, you are going to lose them to a stimmed bio army. ByuN, however, is playing it very safe. Just going to try and force this back as much as possible. First healing is on the way, but every stim is still deadly right now. ByuN, you still got to repair that SCV on a little bit of a labor break there. Union tells him he can't work. Got so bad that they had to just cancel it. Cancel the whole project. It was going to be the new Maginot line, but budget concerns, unfortunately. That's a nice start, getting the Oracle, and now actually ByuN is going to be able to push this back. That's really helpful, especially getting the Stalkers on the retreat, making them a little bit less effective, even getting a couple of pickoffs there. Unfortunately, though, ByuN is not going to be able to push into this, essentially. He's just going to have to back up and be content to power up his army composition. Bit of a premature force field there, just wants to keep this Terran army out, as Zest is going to be going for a bit of a drop play here himself. But those will get picked off very quickly. There is no War Prism, that was just a pylon, so he can't go into the main base. Bit of a very fast shield battery pop there. He wants ByuN. He's kind of just baiting ByuN into going there. But, you know, ByuN, his army is getting scarier and scarier by the minute. We only have one Colossus, so that's not a ton of AoE. But it is enough to kind of push him back for the meantime. One thing I've kind of noticed is ByuN really doesn't like diversity in his army sometimes. Like, you really don't see him get Vikings that often, or just things in the mid game where he's going to have to macro or micro even more than usual. kind of just sticks with Ghosts and Pure Bio, and it looks like he's going to try and push in with that. Gets right on top of the Colossus, but another one is actually about to pop. The fight, Widemine is going to get a couple of connections as well. The Zealot's going to tank for it, but unfortunately the Colossus goes straight into enemy fire, and he's going to lose all 3 of them. Once again, the shield battery has been popped, but that is going to be done. Some nice focus fire micro, or some nice pickup micro there. Going to clean up a lot of these stalkers. Reinforcements, however, are in a bit of a pinch as they got to contest with the Zest. No upgrade advantage for Zest anymore because he did get the upgrade gone, the Forge destroyed. Now ByuN, he will have to back out of here, but it's not for long. Look at that. He's got his reinforcements moving across. The Zealots even have to back away because they just can't fight this. The Observer doing a really good job of just cleaning up those Widemines before they can fight, but this is just a non-stop push from ByuN. He doesn't want to lose anything. He just wants to keep Zest building units rather than economy. Now Zest is starting to get out those high tier units, which is going to help push this back. There are still quite a few Marauders with everything. And, you know, it's just really hard to tell here. ByuN still has that army supply lead, but he doesn't really have those high tier, high tech units like Ghosts or Vikings to help him out. Only just now starting that second starport and starting Viking production to deal with this. Looks like the Zealots actually just invite themselves in as well. One scan, that's all I'm asking for. Excuse me. And ByuN delivers. So now, like I said, ByuN does not like to stop pushing. Once he gets started, he's really just like a train that's trying to run you over. He does have a couple of scans banked up, which I like because we do have DTs going to be coming out relatively soon. And I don't think this is a win behind Dark Shrine moment. I think this is essentially just there to put on some pressure and force the use of those scans. And the thing is, he can turn those into Archons as well, which would just be a really good addition to his army. There you go. Just so much more power fire. So much more firepower. I don't know if he meant to do that. But you know what? He does mean to come out of here. He's got the perfect Terran composition for everything here. The Archons getting on top of the Vikings. Going to do a lot of damage to those. The Medevac's kind of in the front there, forcing the Stalkers to not engage. But look at that engagement for ByuN. Jumping up over 50 army supply. And GG is called. Oh my goodness, this series has been absolutely crazy. And yes, I did say firepower. English may be my only language, but that doesn't mean I have to speak it well. An incredible game from ByuN there. Just really pushing hard and like once he's aggressive, he just keeps getting those pickoffs that he needs and then building the perfect army composition behind it. Excredible. Yes, exactly. It's excredible. I'm calling Merriam-Webster in the morning, and we are going to add that to the dictionary. You mark my words. If selfie stick can get in there, then oh, you guys are laugh riot tonight. Like, this is a really good Friday having all you here. You know what, guys? You know who else is glad to have here? Spawning down here in the top position, he is Zest. And his opponent down here in the bottom, he is ByuN. Oh, thank you, T-Pure. So once again, Zest is just very cautious versus this guy, this ByuN character, whoever he may be. He knows that there is craziness, and he's just really trying to keep that craziness away from him. He's like the, you know, it's almost the holiday season. He's just trying to keep the crazy in-laws from the dinner table at Thanksgiving. You know, he's got them set up over there by the kiddie table so that they can talk, but they don't have the good mashed potatoes like the main table has. And now I'm making myself hungry, so I'm going to stop that analogy. And this is actually pretty interesting. ByuN has done this before. Basically what this is he's going to get 1 Marauder, 2 Marines, and then start to push across the map a little bit here with Concussive Shell. It's really good, especially since Zest does like to get that Stalker out on the map and try and be aggressive with that. It's just really good for that. And actually he's going to be changing it up a little bit and just going straight for double Marauder. Actually, it might have been 2 Marauders, 1 Marine. I'm forgetting the ratio of Marine to Marauder. Okay, it is 2 Marauders, 1 Marine versus Protoss. Just 2 friends going on a nice leisurely stroll with their concussive shells already loaded. And the Stalker does not know what hit him. There's no shield battery in play right now. A lot of probes are being pulled to deal with this. And he will pick off 1 Marauder, but the second Stalker will go down. Not before taking 1 probe with him. Marauders taking a walks. So luckily for Zest, he didn't take too much damage from that, and he is going for a pretty aggressive tech build here. We might actually see him go for War Prism speed before we see any Colossus with extended range. And yeah, ByuN, you know, he wasn't really trying to get too much done with that. He is still going to get a couple of Marauders out and about to defend against any kind of counterattack. But this did set him behind just a little bit here, especially since he's going for 3 racks. I don't know about 3 racks. Especially not versus Colossus. But you know what? If there's anyone who could make it work, it's ByuN. Especially since he already has Stim. He's got that upgraded nice and early. And yeah, just like I said, we actually see War Prism speed. Funnily enough, it's not the fireball that is making my tongue just get so tied. Zest is actually being a memer. As he drops the Colossus right on top, his own base is a little bit exposed. There's enough here to kind of start pushing this back, but on the other side, gets the shield battery that has been popped. Going to pick off a lot of these Stalkers, and a bunch of these probes are actually going to get taken down as well. The Colossus had to get picked up there before getting taken down. He actually lost it as well. So ByuN putting himself into an amazing position here. Also setting up for the next big step, which is the siege tank push. 9 workers going down, and he's taken the so many different leads. If we take a look at that income advantage, it's coming up ByuN as well as the army supply. Look at that dip. The caster is Passer 2300. And yes, it is considered whiskey, actually. It's just whiskey with a cinnamon flavor, so it's kind of like a specialty whiskey, non-expensive specialty whiskey. Now, with that War Prism speed, Zest is really able to just kind of jump around between these two bases. The fact that ByuN hasn't spread himself out on a third yet, making it a little bit harder, but that Immortal, just so much firepower. As you can see, he just cleans up at those buildings quickly. ByuN is not letting a little thing like his base being on fire stop him from what he needs to do, and he needs to keep this attack going. Like, he really just wants to keep this aggression up. Force Zest into a non-economic position. Both players still only on 2 bases, although ByuN has his 3rd base almost done. Zest is having a little trouble getting up there. He's not dead, and he's not in a terrible position by any means, but he's really just being forced to stay at home and defend rather than where he wants to be, out on the map with these warp prisms, with these counterattacks, etc.
Let our enemy know our fury.
They say when War Prism and Medivacs don't see each other, it's like 2 ships passing in the night, but that was broad daylight right there with who saw who. Disruptor's going to get some nice shots off. The Vikings, though, are going to make things a little bit tricky there for him. Okay. I guess once he lost that Warp Prism, that was just enough for him to tap out there. GG. Yeah, I guess he invested a little bit too heavily into the Warp Prism attack, but oh. You look away for 1 second, and that's what happens. But that does put ByuN on match point. And you know what, guys? If you want to put your Friday night on match point, you can check out our sponsor, Fireball Whiskey. Whether you just want to unwind at home and make a delicious mixed beverage, or you want to go out and party with your friends, Fireball is the best way to either turn up or wind down your Friday night, because it tastes like heaven but burns like hell. Yes, it is just 1 shot in a mug of apple cider. Like, I use it to make a delicious apple cider mixed drink. And you know what? These guys make a delicious mix as well. Spawning down here in the bottom, he is Zest. And his opponent up here in the top, he is ByuN. So we have seen some crazy shenanigans out of both sides here. I am very interested to see what ByuN does in this game. I don't think it would be prudent to walk his units across the map early on because it's just such a far distance for him. Instead, I would like to see him go into a later stage. I think that would be the most fun way to end it. It's just a straight up, pure PvT battle. Johnny Walker double black label. That's a good one. I got to admit, I do enjoy my whiskey sometimes, but I'm more of a mixed drink kind of guy. I like having things like whiskey sours, margaritas, that kind of thing. I'm not a big drinker. Which is strange because they asked me to do the drinking stream, essentially. But hey, you know, Zest is going to be mixing it up a little bit with that Twilight Council once again, and ByuN is just crazy, man. He's got the Liberator already going to be made here from the starport, and behind this, he's also got... Oh, actually, excuse me. It's not going to be Liberator like I thought. He's just going to get the Medevac out there and ferry the Hellions into the main base. Now, Zest doesn't really know what's going on here just yet. He's still kind of in the dark, excuse me. But he did see that it was Hellions, so he's going to start kind of gearing up his wall, probably assuming that they're going to be jumping in. No, it's a best of 7. But his Stalkers were in position for this. The Hellions going to have to get some more damage done to make this worth it. You need 3 of them to one-shot the probes. Actually, ByuN just happened to be so careful here. He almost lost the Medevac. Let's get one more shot off before he gets out of there. Okay, not the best damage, but not the end of the world either. He did kill off a few probes. Although his starport now has to make the arduous journey to his main base. Oh, believe me, I do too. Like, game number 7 with ByuN in it and Zest, that is pretty much my dream matchup. I think these two are my favorite in TVP. And I think in TVZ, I'd like to see him and Rogue again. Like, I know they've played a ton of times already, but just every time they meet each other, they go insane. Now, Zest is going to be moving out with the Blink Stalkers once again. He's just got 5 of them here, but unfortunately for him, ByuN does have siege tanks. Oh yeah, Clem versus ByuN would be amazing. Just two micro legends. It looks like Zest is gearing up. He wants to get in there and do some aggression. Might be having second thoughts about it just because now ByuN has kind of seen what's going on. There's no real point in losing those early gateway units, although Zest has popped off 4 additional gateways. I don't know what to say, you know, Zest, he's gearing up for it. We have just yet to see him pull the trigger. Yeah, I would love to see those guys play in a premier tournament. That would literally make my StarCraft 2 dream. Although, like, I think I would lose my voice because I would just be like trying to catch all of the action, just like these zealots trying to catch all of the siege tanks here. Lost a lot of that stalker energy there. So many of those going down, and the zealots may get the last siege tank, but he expended so much to get that. Zest is not done, however. He wants to get on top of that stim pack. If he can cancel that at the very last second, he would literally win this game from there. He has denied the third base, so that's good for him. But he definitely wants more. Workers are dying. Not 100% certain where. But, you know, ByuN is just looking to push out a little bit. He wants to establish this position. He needs to establish this position. Zest has had his third base up for such a long time. And, you know, we actually see him changing it up once again. He's got Storm. A Storm on the way, which can be very good, especially if ByuN's not paying attention. Which, by the way, ByuN is usually always paying attention, except for when he's not. But Zest is really just trying to... you're not 100% wrong, Sunlily. I'm live. I can see. But these are replays that have been cast already, but over on the Trovo stream, so that's why we're bringing them to the Twitch live viewer. As Big Storm's going to blanket ByuN's army there. The Zealots jumping on forward. A lot of them will get taken out with the Widow Mines, but there is still a lot of gateway pressure here from Zest. A couple of Archons being morphed in as well. ByuN has a good spread, so he's not taking too much AoE damage with that, but some good juggles as well. And ByuN is looking to have a little bit of trouble here as Zest is trying to power his way through. Zealots just able to really push things back, although he is taking some big Widowmine shots on them. 19 workers going down. Oh no. Huge hits on those Widowmines. Just gonna eliminate the army of Zest and actually slow Warpins. Not gonna get completely canceled there. Not gonna get canceled at all, by the way. So the funny thing is, ByuN has actually stabilized off the back of that. Granted, he doesn't have his third base. I think that actually got taken down, did it? It did. So now he's going to have to try and win it with what he has, what little economy he's got. He's starting to mine out the main base. The natural still has some minerals, but not a ton. Yeah, Zest just kind of jumping around these bases. There are so many good players to look out for this year. A lot of new blood. I would say Korea is still pretty good. Although if we're talking about domination, like Finland and Italy are being held up by two amazing players, both Zergs. But you know what? Right now, Zest is looking to hold up this game, and he's really got such a powerful army here. ByuN has completely back on his third, which I guess, okay, yeah, that's his main base pushed down. Stalker's gonna get a few connections there. As ByuN not going to overextend. He's down currently 30 army supplies, so he doesn't want to take an engagement before he's ready. That is a ton of zealots. One thing to note, though, Zest doesn't actually have any upgrades with this. And that is huge, but we do see ByuN going for a little bit of drop here, just trying to focus fire down the Nexus. The main engagement has not occurred just yet. A few EMPs, going to try and keep the storms off his army. Honestly, I don't even think he needs to pick up right there. Two Marauders beat what he has, but he gets all the storms gone. That was a huge pickoff to start things off here, and while these Zealots may start to push this back a little bit, they are going to start to melt like butter, and ByuN in 6 games